again, this is Off the Bottom, is coming at you with another Masters of the Universe Classics review. And before you, we see none other than one of the most popular reissues and remolds, I suppose, of the He-Man figure itself. And you see before you Battle Armor He-Man. One thing of note that I actually noticed with the Adora figure, they're putting the names on the white mailer boxes now, which I think is kind of interesting. So we'll see. So I do have that right there. Now I also got a second Adora figure that, I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to keep this or sell this yet. I haven't quite decided yet, but it's still not even opened out of its box. So this is what came today. I'm really excited. So you get the standard white mailing box here. Nothing too spectacular with it. So, sacrilege, I know, but I don't consider the 2000X Power Sword to be really the Power Sword. So we're going to come from the bottom. We're going to do a slow reveal and pop that in. There we go. Open that like so. Like so. Pull this back. Kind of reach in here and slowly slide this out, and oh, there you have the most powerful man in the universe. Armor breastplate shows dents instead of saying the original. And as you continue to slide it out, ooh, and there he is, the Battle Armor He-Man himself. One of the best uses of this. I'm kind of torn. I actually almost did not get this, and now that I'm looking at this, that's really, the paint job on these are really actually fairly nice. I do have a couple issues with this that I've seen from the very beginning. You see his bio here on the back. You got the various figures that have come out. Battle Armor He-Man. They explained why he has this battle armor, and I'll put that over in the sidebar for you to look and see why where he got this battle armor. But really, overall, nice packaging, nothing hidden in there. But you get the little belly button, the lightning bolt, the Grayskull armor, the air holes. Masters of the Universe Classics. Fairly nice looking. Can't really complain too much about it just yet, but let's get it open and see exactly how good this figure really is. Okay guys, so here we have Battle Armor He-Man out of his packaging and kind of displayed here. Now, one thing that you're going to notice right off the bat is that this figure, I mean, it's pretty much just a standard figure of He-Man, with the exception of the, well, in this, He-Man doesn't want to stand. Come on, stand, He-Man. You know, obviously he has the battle armor and all that fantastic stuff, but for the most part, he's identical to, except he's got some crappy paint here. That's kind of disappointing, seeing this is my first. I'm going to premise this and just tell you guys that I really don't particularly like this figure. I was so close to not even bother getting him, but I ended up getting him because I was afraid that, maybe I'll miss out on something that's cool. In terms of accessories, he comes with his axe, which comes with every other He-Man figure that we've gotten so far, as well as the goddess. So this is like the 4th battle axe that we've gotten, so that's pretty much identical. Comparing it to the reissue He-Man, which came out a couple months ago. As you can see, they are identical. There's nothing different about it, down to the fact that they both say China on the exact same spot. Unimpressive, especially when it's described as the Power Sword is what gives him this armor. You would have thought that he would have came with the Power Sword. That's just my kind of take on the whole thing. Now, you can use the 2000X sword that came with Man-at-Arms if you have that. You can use that as, sure, why not? We'll slip that in there. And his hands seem vastly tighter than previous figures. And in fact, I'm starting to, did I break part of his thumb off? No, maybe not. I don't know. Alright, I'm not even going to bother doing that because it really looks like it's very closed, gapped, and it's not very flexible at all. So you can use this, I suppose, which, yeah, I mean, okay, sure, that looks kind of cool because, he's armored and everything. This fits in here a whole lot better than this one, just so you know. In terms of the armor itself, now, one thing, this is a hard plastic, which I'll be honest, I don't like. Hard plastic will get brittle just by its nature, especially with how retarded this. See, I'm having a hard time getting this off. I don't know how others do it, but there we go. You have to remove the armor to switch out the breastplates, which that's another thing that bothers me, but I'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, this is a hard plastic, which constantly taking this apart and putting it back together to switch this out, in my mind, will make this brittle. I mean, it's hard, static plastic that doesn't bend really, and when it does bend, it'll create stress joints. I just don't think that this is a very good design. To change the breastplate, you just pop it out, just like so, and then you can take whichever one you want, and you put it in through the back. And you just peg that in. And there you go. Now you have one with one slash, and then you have, looks like 2 slashes, a couple different ones. The paint on here is actually a little bit different. I'm going to kind of zoom in and try and show this off. This has a little, well, they're all kind of sparkly, glittery, but fairly nice looking. I really do wish, and now by keeping it like this, you kept it with the original toy where it was, the breastplate was recessed downward. But having to take this off to replace it really is stupid. I really think they should have came up with some kind of way where you could attach it on the outside. Well, it's not going to work. Attaching it to the outside, allowing you to quickly change them. Especially if, you know, I mean, okay, so, I mean, I'm not a kid, but, you know, maybe a kid would want to do that if they're going to play with it. As a, like the original one where you just had to flick it and it would rotate. You know, the point is quick action with this. So there's that. We're going to set that off to the side. You can see that he's painted silver underneath because the armor plating only comes down to about the midsection, much like the Hordak and the hero figures, and even the King Randor, I suppose. So no detailing on the abdomen area there. Now Pixel Dan mentioned this. Here's the reissue. And he talked about how the paint looks better on this than the reissue. I don't see any difference, honestly, except that maybe his hair sits lower than his hair. I don't know if you can kind of see that, and for some reason he's a little bit, oh well, he's kind of hunched. His hair just seems to sit lower. That might be an optical illusion, but I don't know. Hey guys, one real quick thing that I wanted to add, and I want to thank my friend GD for pointing this out to me, because he saw that this was mentioned somewhere, I'm assuming on the He-Man.org forums, and he thought the guy was fairly crazy, and I ran upstairs to check this and found out that it's absolutely correct. Here you see the Battle Armor He-Man. Here you have the reissue He-Man. Here's the battle armor. It's separate. Now, remember in my review, I mentioned how the hair, and I don't know if you can see this, the hair on this sits lower on the forehead than this one. When you turn around on the back, that means that this exposes more of the neck. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but there's more neck here than on this guy. The reason for that is rather kind of strange. The battle armor does not fit on the original He-Man. So here's that, or the reissue, for that matter. You have that, but because of the hair, as you can see, there's not enough clearance here in the neck area to allow for this gap to close and connect. So what they did was they took the hair mold, lowered it a little bit more on the head, or on the forehead section, taking it off of the neck, giving this clearance so that you can connect the battle armor on the Battle Armor He-Man. I found that actually kind of interesting, and nobody seemed to have mentioned it in a video review format yet, or other written review that I had seen. So I thought I would just add this real quick. So thanks guys, sorry about whatever. And the only other real paint difference that I noticed is on the belt itself. This is a deeper red color. This one is a little bit lighter of a red color, but everything else is pretty much identical. I don't understand how he says that it's a better paint job when to me it's the exact same. I don't notice any real differences. So we're gonna put the armor back on, and you just place it over, switch out whatever piece you want in there, and then you just attach this. And again, I don't know. The hard plastic to me just says that it's gonna get brittle over time. It feels sturdy now, but over time, constantly swapping these out, I don't think it'd be very good. And as I said, the accessory, in terms of accessories, all he comes with is this battle axe. I would have liked to have seen him come with a power sword or something of that nature, because that's how he gets the armor. He draws on the power of the power sword, and it brings him the armor. Same level of articulation, except the head is now a little bit hindered by the arm piece because it goes all the way up to his neck. You can't really put his arms as far down as you would like. I'm going to kind of... That's them as far down, bringing out the original reissue He-Man. The original reissue. You can kind of get the arms situated a little bit lower. Not too much, but a little bit more. As you can kind of see, his kind of jut out because of the armor itself. Waist articulation, ab articulation, the legs, and all that fantastic stuff. This feels softer. His little cod piece or loincloth. That feels about the same quality, maybe a little thinner, or softer, I suppose. Same level of articulation though, but this figure is really unimpressive to me. He displays nice. It's not bad looking. I think that it just feels cheap. This, because of this softness, or not the softness, the hardness of this, it just feels kind of cheap to me. So, I mean, I really, he's not going to maintain a place in my collection on my display shelf, really. So, unfortunately, I can't really recommend this too terribly much. It's not my biggest excitement from this line, I guess, but I am disappointed that I paid $20 to have this guy. I really think that I could have passed on him and not have worried too much. I think having the original He-Man alone is sufficient enough. Yes, it's a nice variant, and it's probably the most recognized variant with the battle armor. I just think they did the battle armor very badly. Everything else about the figure is fine. I have no problem with it. But paying $20 for the battle armor and an axe that we've already gotten 3 other times, nothing else, I can't recommend this. Terribly sorry, guys. But so until next time, thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.